Hello, and welcome back to Funnelheads, a channel dedicated to everything cruise related. My name is Andrew, and today we have some breaking cruise news as well as some updates. We have 3 different topics to discuss. Now, if you do enjoy up-to-date cruise content, consider subscribing, liking the video, sharing with family and friends. We appreciate it. Let's get right into today's video. Now let's get started with our first piece of news. Now we're going to get the bad news over with in the beginning of the video and end on a positive note with some good news. Now this first piece of news does have a trigger warning because it is truly awful. 2 moms from Kentucky were visiting the Bahamas on Sunday, and apparently or allegedly they were raped while there. Now the US does have a travel warning for this vacation hotspot, and unfortunately the 2 moms, the 2 close friends, are blaming Carnival. They said that Carnival did not let them know about this warning ahead of time. Now moms and longtime friends Amber Scherer and Dongala Dobson, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your names, we're just hoping for a fantastic kids-free cruise, and unfortunately it ended in absolute tragedy. Now these moms and friends told news station about their story. Apparently they were trying to have a relaxing day on Grand Bahama Beach when a resort staffer offered them a 2-for-1 drink deal. Of course they accepted that offer. I mean, why not? Great deal, and they're just trying to relax, have some fun on the beach. They ended up taking pictures with the tropical drinks, one in a pineapple and the other in a coconut. But soon after everything started to go downhill, they immediately knew something was a little bit off after they took their first sip. It just tasted way stronger than expected. Even their loved ones back home were actually very worried about them because apparently the 2 sent home some videos of them drinking the drinks, and they just looked highly intoxicated at that time. Unfortunately, they did still order that second drink, and after a few sips of the second drink, that's when things really started to go wrong. But they did want to still look for seashells for, souvenirs for people at home and for themselves. So they decided to get up and try to walk it off, go look for some seashells, and that's when a resort staffer came over to them and basically said, hey, I've got, a great location. Let me show you the best spot to find some of the best shells. But that is the last thing that they remember, and unfortunately the next time Scherer remembered anything was mid-sexual assault. Unfortunately she woke up during that act. Now the only little light spot, I guess you could say, is that the Bahamian authorities and other staffers at the resort were able to immediately identify the 2 men accused of the noon assault through surveillance footage. One of the attackers had only apparently been employed by the resort for about a week. Now the Royal Bahama Police were able to arrest 2 men, a 40-year-old of South Bahama and a 54-year-old of 8 Mile Rock, in connection to the sexual assault. Back on the cruise ship, the moms received the results of the toxicology tests, which showed they had a plethora of drugs in their system, including benzodiazepines. Also, it's important to note that neither woman had a lot of alcohol content in their bodies, and they also had bruising up and down their legs. Now back in Kentucky, the 2 women have hired a lawyer to seek justice, and they are receiving medical care, of course, which includes up to $4,000 in HIV medication prevention. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, the 2 women are blaming Carnival Cruise Lines for not letting them know about this travel advisory, which actually took place about a week before they traveled to the Bahamas. Now, either way, this is a terrible thing that has happened, and I want to know in the comment section below, do you think that the cruise lines, not only Carnival, should stop going to the Bahamas in the short-term period because of all the gang-related activities and now this happening? Now, personally, we are cruising to Nassau, Bahamas in about 30 days, actually 30 days exactly, but our plan is to go directly to the Margaritaville Resort and enjoy our day. I would say that if you are going to the Bahamas, not including, of course, the private islands, those are still safe and secure. But if you're planning on traveling or cruising to the Bahamas in the near future, I would recommend either doing an excursion through the cruise line or booking something directly with a legitimate company. But also always make sure you're aware of your surroundings, and I would also recommend that you do not purchase food or drinks from individuals. Make sure you are going to established businesses. Unfortunately, though, this did happen. It could have been, avoidable, but, we all make mistakes. We could always look back and think we could have done a better job, but, you're on vacation. That's the last thing that you think about. But my heart truly goes out to each of these women, and hopefully they get the justice and the medical care that they deserve, and hopefully they can move past this quickly. My thoughts and prayers go out to each one of them. Now, I am unaware of if Carnival Cruise Lines did notify, its guests in regards to the travel advisory. Usually they do so. However, I do think that they need to make a bigger deal about these travel advisories, really kind of put it out there, make sure that everybody has a safe plan. But let me know what your thoughts are in regards to this tragic accident that happened. Now, moving on to our second piece of news, which is more of an update than anything. That is the Carnival Magic, of course, crashing into the pier. We have had some updated details as well as pictures and videos that we'd like to share. Now, of course, if you weren't aware, if you're not paying attention to cruise news lately, the Carnival Magic unfortunately did have a brush against the Jamaican dock in Ocho Rios. Now, we're hearing that this was caused because an actual pier fender collapsed while they were in port. If you don't know what a pier fender is, it's basically this big rubber device that keeps the ship from rubbing against the concrete dock. In this case, it did collapse, and that's when the ship began to rub its side alongside the concrete dock. Now, the dock itself did suffer extensive damage from what we can tell in the pictures and videos. Of course, they're going to have to do, more surveying to see how extensive the damage is. But in the pictures, you can see cracks in the dock as well as it crumbling into the sea. Now, the Carnival Magic wasn't even supposed to be in Ocho Rios that day, but the captain decided to dock the ship in Ocho Rios ahead of the weather storm, basically a day early. They did let passengers off in the port. From my understanding, it was about mid-morning when the passengers were able to get off, and they were due back around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This incident took place around 11 to 11:30 a.m., and at the time, the captain actually had to leave the port, so they actually left guests on the island. But the captain really didn't have any other choice. The ship kept rubbing against the pier itself, and he was concerned not only for the ship, the passengers that were aboard, at that time, as well as those that were on the pier. Now, after the Carnival Magic left the pier, they basically stayed out in the ocean right close to the island. They were waiting for, I believe it was a Costa ship, to leave at another dock, another pier. They waited for them to leave so that way they can pull up to that one, and the rest of the passengers were able to board at that time. Unfortunately, the passengers that were left on the island were there for several hours. There was people in this comment section on the channel that were saying, they had husbands, friends, wives that were in Jamaica. They were left there, till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. From my understanding, they were able to feed them at one point. Somebody did mention that Carnival Cruise Lines ordered KFC for everybody to eat, but they were outside pretty much in the elements all day. But Carnival Cruise Lines was trying to keep them comfortable and, of course, safe. Now, since then, the Carnival Magic has been cleared, meaning that, thankfully, it is only cosmetic damage. There's no injuries, nothing like that. So that is great news. The Carnival Magic did miss its next port of call, which was Grand Cayman. It is going to Bimini, which I believe is there today, and then it will make its way back to the port of Miami. Now, John Heald, the brand ambassador for Carnival Cruise Lines has already commented that the sailing on February 10th, I believe, is still on. Everything's a go. But again, it looks like it's just cosmetic damage, which is great news. Fortunately, the people that are due on the ship next week can still go. They'll just have to look at, definitely a banged up, beat up ship, which I'm sure will be due for a paint job, maybe some buffing, among other things here in the near future, but no cruise cancellations as of now. And the last piece of news is actually positive news, so let's get right into that. Let's end this video on a positive note, and that is Norwegian Cruise Lines, for the very first time, is going to be sailing from Jacksonville, Florida. Now, we did report on this channel a few weeks back that there was a chance that Norwegian was going to be entering this market because they made, a portal, a landing site for Jacksonville, Florida, and they also had met with a lot of the port authority to make sure that this was going to be possible, make sure that they had a ship that could fit under the bridge there in Jacksonville. That ship is the Norwegian Gem, which is a Jewel class ship. It can fit up to 2,400 guests at full capacity. Now, we could not be more excited, and for a few reasons. First of all, Jacksonville, Florida is pretty close to home. We are going actually on the Carnival Elation here in 30 days, which is, of course, the other ship that leaves out of Jacksonville. That ship is not going anywhere anytime soon anyway, but we've never been on Norwegian Cruise Line. This will be an opportunity to try it for the first time, and because we have never been on Norwegian Cruise Line, we have never had the opportunity to visit their private island, which is going to be on this itinerary. Now, this ship will have several different itineraries, starting off with a 3 12-day and a 2 11-day round trip Eastern Caribbean sailings. That includes calls to their private island, Great Stirrup Cay, the Dominican Republic, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and other destinations. They will also do 4 and 5 day cruises that call to Great Stirrup Cay, Freeport, and Nassau, Bahamas. We are so excited to try this out. Now, the bookings do open February 15th, so a few days from now, about a week. We are going to be looking at the prices, all the different itineraries, and the first sailing isn't until next year, 2025. But let me know in the comment section below, are you planning to go on this ship that's going to be leaving out of Jacksonville, Florida? And maybe we will see you on it. But that's the cruise news for now. As more cruise news comes, of course, we will update you. But consider subscribing if you wanted up-to-date cruise news, vlogs, cruise informational videos, anything cruise related. We are the channel for you. Hitting like on the way out, share with family and friends. We appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you right back here in the next video or on a cruise ship one day. Catch you later.
I woke up with the sun today, rolled out of bed and said, I'm gonna have some fun today, and that's just what I did. The birds were singing, come outside, I felt giddy like a kid. If life is like a swimming pool, you know I'm jumping in. We got the perfect summer day, so put me in your plans. You know that this doesn't happen every day, so everybody clap your hands. 'Cause when we raise on high, every hand in the sky, we're the super fans, feeling grand in the grandstands. Shout it out, make some noise, make it loud, soaking up the lovely weather, everything just comes together. I woke up feeling good today, my journey has begun. I gotta give a shout out to the green grass and the sun. It's a long way off, a tricky shot, but I know it can be done. Another day, another game, another hole in one. Yeah, we got the perfect summer day, so put me in your plans. You know that this doesn't happen every day, so everybody clap your hands. 'Cause when we raise on high, every hand in the sky, we're the super fans, feeling grand in the grandstands. Shout it out, make some noise, make it loud, soaking up the lovely weather, everything just comes together. Lift them up, all the hands, all in one, we're the super fans, feeling grand in the grandstands. is just so fine. Wish I could bottle time, 'cause if you only pause, you'll hear the crowd applaud. They're cheering for you now. Stand up and take a bow. You know that you deserve it. Today is picture perfect.